If I was Robotaxi, I would be going back a couple. I guess the UPS driver is okay with parking like that. I'm just gonna try it out. What the heck? Pull over. I'm just gonna confirm it. If I get a support agent, that's fine.
I'm going to get a lot of hate in the comments for this, but I wanted to go ahead and share my daily dose of speculation with you guys. What is up, guys? McKay here. I want to go ahead and dive into another Robotaxi quote-unquote failure with you guys, kind of analyze it, debrief, talk about my opinion. I also have a little bit of speculation that I want to share. So stick around to the end if you want to hear my speculative take on something that I found interesting. So obviously, in my opinion, the Robotaxi reveal was 98% successful. You didn't have any kind of technical issues with picking up, dropping off. I mean, I heard some people were having to walk, but nonetheless, I want to kind of talk about one mistake that I saw that's going around on social media, and I want to kind of dissect it with you guys. So let me go ahead and share my screen here with y'all. And you guys can see this is from Dave Lee. Okay. So this is 29 minutes into one of his Robotaxi drives. And I know he took a ton, and I don't want to make it seem like I'm just cherry picking the bad things. Because this is an opportunity for Tesla to continue to learn and grow. This is why they do beta tests. Like if you're involved in tech or launching a product, you want your beta testers, your most trusted people that aren't going to heavily criticize the product. So Dave Lee is a fantastic member of the Tesla community. And I want to go and share with you guys his take on what happened with this scene. So let me go ahead and dive into it with y'all. Okay, so right there, you saw this UPS truck right here start backing up, and the Tesla didn't stop, right? So I do know Tesla recognizes lights, but I don't know if you'd be able to differentiate a brake light from a reverse light, okay? So let's continue to watch. So you saw the operator here reach down and push a button. I can't identify it. It's obviously stopping, but let's go ahead and continue looking.
Oh, we got an interesting situation.
So it puts the car right in park, which I thought was interesting. I would expect it would be cool to see kind of for the remote operators having something where it's like move forward, move back when you summon the Tesla, how it goes really slowly forward or backward. It would have been cool if he did that, but I think his job is to purely stop the car and let the Tesla support take over from there. Let's keep watching. Also interesting, he's a SpaceX hat. I don't know if it's within Tesla's culture that the company dynamics cross all the time, or if he's a SpaceX employee just volunteering. I don't know, but it was an interesting observation. SpaceX hat here on a Tesla launch day.
Okay, the UPS car is coming very, very close to us.
So he didn't move the car back at all. He's waiting for Tesla support to jump in. He's making sure that the UPS truck isn't going to hit it.
If I was Robotaxi, I would be going back a couple.
Exactly. Dave hits it on the nail on the head. He wanted to scoot back.
Feet, but yeah, but I guess the UPS driver is okay with parking like that.
So Tesla didn't. It was nice that the UPS driver didn't need to back all the way, and he parked at this angle, which was really nice for Tesla. This is Dave Lee outside of the car. I think they just dropped him off here and ended the ride. I think Dave's like, hey, I'll get out here. I don't know. He didn't share that part in the video. But then you see Tesla back up, which this, in my opinion, is for sure probably a teleoperator driving at that point just to get out and around this UPS car. I mean, I had a really cool experience with FSD last night where there was a cone in the road and it went around the cone, but it went back into its lane. So it's possible that FSD continued to do that. But I also want to share with you guys, that's kind of my take on what is going on here. Again, it's not a big deal. I mean, the comments be like, oh, of course it's a big deal. A driver's ed guy would fail his test, which it's honestly interesting to compare it to a driver's ed test. This is a beta technology. It's going to continue to roll out. But yeah, this is a big oopsies. And it should have stopped. I don't know what you could do to prevent it in the future on a technical basis, like these reverse lights. If a car is moving forward, I don't know. It's a really tricky edge case scenario, but these are the edge case scenarios that Tesla's gonna have to figure out. Again, in my opinion, Tesla's at this really interesting stage where I feel like Tesla FSD is like 90% solved. You have the first 5% and the last 5% of each drive that need the most help. Those are going to be the hardest part, getting in and out of garages and going onto the main street, and getting into a parking lot and dropping off passengers and going to auto park, right? Those are the first and last 5% that I keep talking about. Those are the most difficult to solve. The rest of the 90% in the middle, I don't have much complaints. I drove around on FSD all night last night, loved it, had a great experience. There was a couple scary times, of course. Scary by meaning it would go closer to a guardrail than I would have, just because it tends to stay more in the middle of the lane. But let's go ahead and continue to analyze this and see if Dave Lee says anything else. Oh, wrong button. Let me go ahead. There we go.
Hey, well done. Yeah, Tesla Robotaxi's off and about.
Okay, so then that's just him going into the store. He shows that. I want to show another trip that he took on the Tesla Robotaxi that I haven't seen many people talk about. So here he is. He wanted to test the pullover feature because there's a button that says you can pull over the car. And he it's interesting at the beginning of the video. He's like, oh, I don't know if I want to do this. But watch what he does. And then I want to go ahead and share my daily dose of speculation with y'all.
Pull over. Now, I pressed this button yesterday. I was scared.
Oh, let me turn off 2x for you guys. Let me see. Turn it to 1x. There we go. Okay.
To press confirm, but I've slept on it. Much more confident now in this Robotaxi. So here it goes. Pull over. Wait, the vehicle reach out to us.
So you can pull over and it'll contact support.
Support agent for assistance. I want to pull over, and then
he goes back and forth, and then ultimately he decides to do it.
I'm just gonna try it out. What the heck? Pull over. I'm just gonna confirm it. If I get a support agent, that's fine. I'm just gonna say I want to be dropped off.
Tesla Robotaxi support. After you hit the pullover button, is everything okay?
Yeah, everything's fine. Just wanted to end my ride a little early and walk around this area.
Okay, sounds good. So once the car pulls over here, you would like your ride to be completed?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, sounds like a plan.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot.
Okay, watch this next part. This is the part that I want to share with you guys.
So I can resume ride.
So he can resume ride.
Connected to support agent. Okay. Okay.
So it jumps back into the traffic pattern.
Try to pull me over.
Goes right back to the left.
And park somewhere. Now that
and then turns left into this neighborhood, which it's a little hard to tell. I cannot tell if that's where it does look like this is where his route is supposed to go. Right here at the top right, you can see it's supposed to turn right.
Okay, thanks.
But that was very, very smooth. And here's I'm going to get a lot of hate in the comments for this, but I wanted to go ahead and share my daily dose of speculation with you guys.
I'm pulled over.
To me, that was a very smooth maneuver. It was very human-like. If you were to ask me my daily dose of speculation, again, do I think this is a big deal? No, but I just think it's funny because this was my first thought. I think that pullover maneuver, the Tesla operator did right here. Let me go ahead and share this with you guys. I think that pullover maneuver was done with one of these steering wheels because you don't know why they need to pull over, where they need to go. I love FSD. I use FSD every day. I bet $5 that Tesla, there was a Tesla operator using a steering wheel that did that pullover maneuver. I could be totally wrong. So let me know what you think down in the comments. I could be totally wrong, but that pullover maneuver was very smooth. It connects to the Tesla operator. I'm sure the Tesla operator gets his hands on the wheel, and that's just my take. I could be totally wrong.
Robotaxi, very, very interesting.
Because it didn't park. It didn't park perfectly. FSD wouldn't park like this. I don't know. FSD would parallel park. I don't know. I could be totally wrong.
Asked him to just
again, that's just my daily dose of speculation for you guys. I love Tesla. I use FSD every single day. I'm going to use it on an 8-hour drive today. FSD is like, my wife says we will never buy a car without FSD. Even my wife loves FSD. So I'm a huge supporter of the Robotaxi. I think this is a beta test. You're going to run into these quirks, but I want to kind of analyze, as somebody that's super pro Tesla, pro innovation, I want to analyze my take as somebody, what they can do to fix these issues and my feedback. And I think having a teleoperator, it's honestly going to be part of the future. It's okay. A lot of the questions I have still revolve around like, hey, how are we going to do charging? How are we going to do vehicle cleanup? Like, are we going to have charging stations just for robotaxis? Like, how are we going to charge these robotaxis? Those questions I have yet to answer. A lot of like the manual things, I think not tipping the robotaxis is actually a huge benefit. That's a competitive. Last video I talked about how is Tesla going to beat the Ubers and Lyfts. If you don't have to tip your Uber driver, that's a huge pro. That's a huge pro to kind of just know exactly what you're going to pay. And not have to be put in an uncomfortable experience where like, ooh, that was a really bad drive. I don't want to tip them as much. Or somebody gives you a sob story and you feel like, oh, I need to tip them. So I think that's a huge pro. Waymo actually does integrate into the Uber app. So what I'm really interested to see is if Tesla is going to integrate into the Uber app eventually, or if it's just going to be through the Tesla Robotaxi app. I'm itching for the opportunity to go down there and test these Robotaxis. I'm super excited for it. Again, hats off to the team for getting to this point, because this is the next leg in the journey. Now we need to perfect this kind of these little edge case scenarios, the first and last 5%, and Tesla will continue to get better and better. I hope that they continue to expand Austin rather than start with multiple cities. I want them to get really, really good. And then I want them on the next earnings call, or it's to kind of give a roadmap, like what does scaling robotaxis look like here? That's what I'm really dying to know. If you guys enjoyed this video, consider subscribing. Like always, see you next time. Thanks for watching.